On this episode of ResiWeek, Lutron debuts RAW 3, and is it time to sell your business? All this and more on this episode of ResiWeek.
The network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
is AV.
This
is AVNation.
This is AVNation.
This is ResiWeek, episode 300, One Throat to Choke.
Support for AVNation is brought to you by Crestron.
Welcome to this episode of ResiWeek. This is your weekly roundup of all the latest news and stories for the residential AV industry. I'm your host, Matt D. Scott for AVNation.tv. And this week, I'm pleased to be joined by three of my good friends. First, we have the one and only Heather Sidorowicz. She is the president of Southtown AV, one of the fastest growing companies in Western New York. Yes, I listen when you're on other podcasts. How are you doing, sis?
I'm doing well. I've got crazy time issues from being at Infocom. No, I'm good. I'm good with it.
Ooh, I got to go to Infocom.
Just because I want to let you out of Canada.
Yeah, I know. Then we have everyone's favorite uncle, Uncle Richard Fregosa. He's the principal of Fregosa Design. How are you, sir?
Mellow West Coast greetings. I'm dealing with my Halloween hangover, so I was not at Infocom this year. We were staging an event for about 800 trick-or-treaters, and it was madness here. Good madness, self-inflicted, but yeah, moving a little slow after.
Still hurts.
It's all good. It's all good. We're not judging. And rounding it out, we've got my brother, Mr. Joe Whitaker. He's the CEO of Thoughtful Integrations. How you doing, Joseph?
Doing good. As always, glad to be on the show. I'm surprised, you didn't make this like Sparta themed. I mean, it is like the 300th episode or something. So, you should have like been in full gear, like ready to go to battle.
Actually, I could have worn my Spartan regalia because if you're a college football fan, my wonderful MSU Spartans destroyed our quote unquote big brother Michigan over the weekend, so that was great. And all my blue and maize fans were very upset about that. So anyways, let's kick this off with a story that was announced early this morning. This is coming to us from Residential Systems. Lutron is introducing RadioRA 3, their brand new lighting control system. This is their first IoT connected lighting control system, utilizing a bunch of cool things. Obviously, the IoT, they've got a brand new all-in-one processor that's going to be powered via PoE, new programming, new app-based editing, and one of the things that got me all hot and bothered, it's backwards compatible to RAW 2 and RAW 2 Select. One of the things that every message board has been whining about since the day RAW Select was brought out. Heather, let me start with you on this. Is the IoT aspect of this going to be the industry kind of break ground point for this market segment, to have a major player with a fully functional system that is quote unquote IoT enabled?
It'd be nice, right? I mean, we keep it'd be great. I mean, lighting is still that one piece. I've been in so many beautiful houses that it's still, even though it's been around for a while, there's still that final frontier piece of it. I've never really understood why people will spend thousands and thousands of dollars on their TV, but the moment you tell them it's $150 to $200 a light switch, they're like, no, it's too much. And then you say, great, can you turn on your garage light? And they go, click, 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 click. No, not that one. Click, click. No, not that one. So yeah, it would be great if that does become the case.
Rich, one of the things that, and we were talking about this pre-show, one of the things that I think is going to be, how do I phrase this politely? The real big key to this market segment, we've seen how kind of that mid-level lighting control market has just been eroded by all these low-cost, reasonably functional Wi-Fi switches, Z-Wave switches, Zigbee switches that are all over Amazon. And as a RAW 2 dealer, this is my pain point. I walk into pitch lighting control, and we usually lead with RAW 2. And when it hits the price point, the client goes, well, I can get pretty much the same thing out of a $50 dimmer that I buy on Amazon. Is this the product that, and again, we don't know pricing yet, so we're kind of hoping, but is this the product that's going to have the feature set that, even if it is kind of in the realm that it currently is with RAW 2, that it's going to overcome those entry-level systems?
I don't know if it was designed to overcome the entry-level systems. Again, this is RadioRA 3. So go back to RadioRA 25 years ago. It was the first wireless lighting system, right? You were dealing with graphic eyes before that with little remotes. And then it was their groundbreaking technology at the time. Wireless lighting, communication, being able to do some integrated lighting controls without having to rip open your walls. Fast forward to 15 years ago, 12 years ago, RAW 2. RAW 2 took that and then said, by the way, we're jumping on what we had originally, which was wireless control, and we can make it standalone and or part of a homework system, which then again became that next evolutionary step where you could use wireless lighting in an estate situation where it was a retrofit or an upgrade to a system or a panelized lighting system that was going out. RAW 3 is that next step, which is it's part of a connected home. And where Lutron is really focusing, and if you take a look at the marketing material, again, we don't know pricing, but if you look at the marketing material, front and center is interoperability. And that's one thing that we really need to consider, which is, yes, there are very good, inexpensive options out there that are in a very specific sandbox. They're not going to play outside of that sandbox unless they can figure a way to jump onto a larger ecosystem out there, whether it's Alexa, HomeKit, ... with varying results. And again, you have to kind of decide, it's the entry level, the mid level, and the high end. In the mid level, Lutron had to make it just because RadioRA 2 is reaching its functional end as a system. So RAW 3 had to be a natural evolution because RAW 2 systems will start to hit end of life, end of service. So the best customer for Lutron is a Lutron customer. So I think that was definitely part. Are they going to go ahead and disrupt the market again? No, absolutely not. But they needed to provide something for their existing, a large existing base. And it's a tough proposition because you do have people saying, well, I can do so much with this. Well, brand loyalty and the integration side of things and all of those things come into play from a sales standpoint. I don't think Lutron came in saying we're going to completely upend the market. They looked at it and saying, we have tens of thousands of these installations sitting out there that we're going to have to update at some point. And, and again, first reports of it, I like it. I think integration is going to become more and more. It's just going to be assumed, I think, as time passes. It's not even going to be special anymore. There's just going to be assumptions that you will be able to communicate with the major integration partners out there. And I think that's what Lutron went in. And Lutron's actually trying to throw in, based on what I read, the anticipatory services, right? It's anticipatory services are, light harvesting, shading, working your way through. And, we always talk about automation. Automation really should learn to run on its own, to adjust itself to the cycles of the home without user interaction. And kind of one of the small things that they put in there that they're not really talking about, but you can see is they're laying the groundwork for that, which is we call it touchless automation, right? It should be set and forget, where the lights, as part of a critical system in your home, should require less and less interaction over time. And that's kind of the exciting thing that I saw about that.
Yeah, very good. Joe, one of the things that I'm seeing that, again, kind of excites me a little bit more than I was kind of expecting to be was the fact that they're doing two things from an approach, right? they're going to the LED Pro dimmers. So literally a one-size-fits-all LED Pro dimmer that will do pretty much anything you need. There's not a light source or a dimming capability that dimmer doesn't cover. So it's one spec, opposed to typically with RAW 2, it's 5, maybe 6 kind of common specs for the last couple of years. They're also bringing their new Leap API, which is the piece that allows that system programming that Rich was talking about to be native to your third-party control system, your Alexas, as well as your Crestron's Control 4s, Alons, Savants, all that fun stuff, RTRU, RC, etc. Are these the things that are going to make dealers who have kind of taken all of their mid-range clients and for again, lack of a better term, have just kind of let them do what they want, go buy whatever dimmer you want that just gives you the little capability you're looking for, and we're not going to push a system if you're not real encouraged to buy a system? Are these the things that bridge that gap?
I think it's some of the things, but I think what Lutron is doing to us in the back of our minds subconsciously is the bigger thing. Because, Rich was just talking about the lower and the medium market. Lutron's already been playing with that with Caseta for forever. And they've got the analytics on all that. They came out with the Pro Bridge so that you could connect Caseta to Crestron, Control 4, Savant, list goes on and on and on. They've been toying with that and getting those analytics and those numbers forever. And I think to me, it's a bigger play from Lutron at this point. From this point, it is Lutron wanting to control and manage the way light enters your eye inside your house, from the electrical panel to the phone app, whether it be shades with the new wireless palladium stuff, the RAW 3. What I think they're doing is they're trying to make it all more attractive, easier to get in your hands, and then knock down all the walls that have been the walls that have held Lutron out of people's house before. The price, okay, let's fix that. Oh, it doesn't integrate with every system or Alexa or whatever, home. Okay, let's knock down that wall. What I think they're doing is, and that's what actually makes it exciting for me, is it's like they're doing the sales jobs person for them. We're going to take away all the rebuttals we can possibly think of, and we're just going to make them all go away. And we're going to make it easier for the homeowner to acquire it, easier for you to program it, install it, because you were just talking about the dimmers, which I think that's genius, because they can do incandescent, fluorescent, halogen, reverse phase, forward phase, doesn't matter, doesn't care. And we'll dim it at any rate you want to dim it at. So that's what I think is going on right now, is they're knocking down all the rebuttals. Same thing with the new wireless shades. I mean, look, they got a battery in them now. Cool. There's another rebuttal knocked down. You don't need a wire. So I think that's the genius of what Lutron's doing right now. Another product announcement is another product announcement. But if you look at it kind of in their global brand promise, man, they're swinging for the fences right now, and I think they're onto something.
Hey, thanks for watching the first segment of this week's episode. To catch the entire show, please click the link below or visit avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv.